guys, let them know we're ready. And, well, set that intro. So, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's show. We're going to kick this off right now with the ZvZ. And we'll see you guys here in just a sec. We're going to hop into this first best of three, guys. It's ZvZ, and spawning in the bottom right corner of the map to kick off day 2 of Hell, it's Aboot time. It's going to be Root Gaming's Root Hydra. Oh, I didn't have the caster camera on to watch the Observer.
I know, I was really confused.
So there we go, yeah!
Okay. In the top left, as the pink Zerg, is the Breaking Out Invitational qualifier, we shall say. It is Bioice.
And just a quick note to our wonderful production team, it would appear we don't have sound for the game. We're going to get that fixed. Okay, they're working on it. Anyways, so it's, yeah, best of threes, nothing crazy. It's your standard group format. You've seen it 100 times before, GSL, WCS. We'll try and keep the brackets up to date as well, so you guys can keep an eye on who's advancing, who's not. It's worth noting as well, if you're watching online, we do have 2 groups being played simultaneously. We'll be casting 2 groups here live at the venue. 2 groups will be covered by Wardy as the secondary English stream. So if you want to see the other players play, you can go ahead and check out his stream. We also have Take TV going to be bouncing around today as well. They'll be floating between the 2 different groups as they please. But of course, yeah, like we said, we're starting out this one with ZvZ. And so far, so good. No early pools.
Nope, no early pools. I really expect it from Hydra, but maybe from Bioice, especially if you really wanted to start off the day with a bit of a bang and scare Hydra. I mean, certainly Hydra's probably the top dog. Let's see, I put like Hydra and then Jaedong and then...
Wow.
Well,
Zomberg
what a
not put
surprise.
Jaedong at number 1.
Oh, I was like, oh, he's in the list, isn't he? Anyways, but there's, of course, a lot of people that are very scary, and Hydra's definitely really up there. So Bioice is the one that's going to be the one that's, you know, nervous, or the one that's going to be thinking outside the box to deal with this, that type of stuff. And I already see something. It wasn't aggressive. It was actually very macro-oriented. He went for that hatch gas pool, which could have been a big mistake if Hydra had done the 10 pool. But
yeah, Hydra's playing gasless. I don't know if he knows Bioice's play style. For those who don't know, Bioice is a pretty good player in general, but he is very aggressive in most matchups. So by going for this gasless opener out of Hydra, it almost guarantees you're going to have a solid defense in the early game if necessary.
just a bit of a later gas, it looks like.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, of course Bioice had that, you know, that bit of a greedier one. Again, could have been in trouble had it been a different situation, but Hydra is definitely the one that is like, I mean, honestly for him, I would say even like, you know, pool first every single time just in case the other player does a 10 pool, be perfectly safe. I have to imagine he feels really confident in the macro game.
You know, I'm actually just thinking on this. Last night we got a little bit of heck from our good buddy Fear Dragon for putting 3 of the breaking out players. But I had an epiphany after his complaints last night.
Okay.
And in doing that, it guarantees one gets out of the group.
Yeah, so, you know, take that, Fear Dragon. He's actually not here. So
I know. We bring this up, though, not to make fun of Fear Dragon, but Bioice, again, was the guy who qualified through breaking out to get here. Fear Dragon runs this really awesome league, and it helps really foster the North American scene a little bit.
Yeah.
A bit of prize money, get some good competition. And we'll see how those guys do, because if they can hold their own in the round of 8, that would definitely be impressive. We've already seen some weird upsets in the open bracket. Penguin kicking everybody's butt. Heart losing to no regret. I mean, this tournament's already been weird enough.
Yeah, that's true. And Fear Dragon did say that if 2 of his players go through, he's just going to tell us to suck it like all day, man. He's going to be like, what up, what up, what up?
Okay, when he does get here, I'm going to be rude to him, that's for sure. All right, so speed's on the way for both. The big question really comes down to, does anyone plop down to Baneling Nest? You know, a lot of times there still are those just plain speedling all-ins that are scary, but that's a really fast layer coming out of Bioice.
Yeah, now if Hydra is going to go ahead and make a lot of lings, that, you know, typical ling swell in about, you know, 30, 45 seconds, Bioice is in a ton of trouble. Bioice didn't skip speed, but he's not getting a Baneling Nest right now. He wouldn't have a lot of money or gas for those very crucial Banelings. I mean, unless Hydra literally like ran all his lings in like 2 Banelings. Bioice had a really tough time. But Hydra really hasn't had too much scouting. I mean, you initially got in there, saw the gas timing, that's fine, but these 2 lings now coming in, if they see that that layer's on the way, I don't think the timing will quite work out for that all-in to work, but he can certainly still try, because he's bothering at the Baneling Nest. So, I mean, if you can do it, then go ahead. Your opponent doesn't have a Baneling Nest, so.
Yeah, and nothing's worse than just having like 15 lings running around, nothing to do, because if they touch that one Baneling, they're going to explode and die. So, I don't know. I mean, the Baneling is cool, too, because whether if it's used in the early game, it gets really aggressive, or whether it's used in the late game to sneak out a couple of kills, roll those into the mineral lines unsuspected. There's a lot of ways you can actually use it in the game.
Yeah.
But Bioice puts down that Spire.
Yeah, took all 4 gases. That quick layer usually does mean, you know, that Spire. But what is interesting is that Baneling Nest is going to have to probably come down at some point. Hydra is going to be able to scout. No? Well, he's going to scout the lair and all 4 gases. And that is almost, you know, just as good as scouting that Spire. Oh, he did. Ooh, barely in the back.
Alright, well, the Spire revealed. 2 big things are going to happen for Hydra. He's either going to start investing in a lot more Queens, try and get the Hydra down, or even just go for some Spore Crawlers. I mean, we've seen some players really turtle up on it, but unfortunately, he doesn't have that really big push coming of units where you can just try and beat it out.
Hydra could definitely just do his own mutas, and he's on his all 4 gases as well. Now, they're going to be later, obviously, but he also has the Ling pressure coming in right now with that Baneling Nest that he probably noticed Bioice did still not have. So, of course, the key to Muta versus Muta, which it officially is now going to be, is denying that 3rd base and the 5th and 6th gases. If you can do that for so long, it doesn't matter if your opponent got like a 2-minute faster Spire, alright? Like, that 3rd base is that important, and Spores are basically that good. They can buy you time against that, and your Lings are actually the Kingmakers in the matchup.
Yeah, in fairness too, I guess we don't see a lot of Muta versus Muta anymore. It was the most popular strategy for a long time that kind of fell off. And one of the big things about that 3rd base as well, we'll talk about in a second, watch those Banelings try and wiggle in. That's a lot of Lings waiting to get killed though.
Yeah, but nice control from Bioice so far. Queen almost takes one out too.
Yeah.
Hydra's not quite letting off the pressure, and he really can, right? He doesn't want to go back and defend with while waiting for his own mutas. He wants to apply the pressure with all the Lings that he can afford, while Bioice is trying to afford those mutas. And when the mutas are out, they can snipe Banelings no problem, but Lings are still pretty darn speedy, and they get in all the crevices, and they're very annoying to clean up. Yeah,
some get towards the main and go look for that Queen kill. If they can get it, that'd be nice. No, the Baneling will barely keep her alive. Nicely done. 13 health remains. But those mutas are popping, the Baneling's gonna get killed, and this didn't really net that many kills, but 6 drones lost so far.
Yeah, that one last Baneling almost got a nice hit, but it is that total of 6, so not so bad, and the pretty even worker counts, but that has bought in time that Hydra's mutas really aren't coming out that bad, and in fact, Hydra's also, of course, the one that recognizes Mutas muta. He gets that Carapace upgrade a lot quicker.
Very important. It reduces the glaive worm bounce damage as well. That's why you see Bioice also invest into it, but Hydra, he's got to defend this attack.
Does he have any of his own Banelings? No, he actually
and the mutas are still on the way. He might lose them.
This is still okay. At a time. Yeah, with the mutas helping out, and of course both players have Lings on that ground to take up some of the glaive worms. I think this is still going to be okay for Hydra, but Bioice, maybe not. Maybe the mutas from the main base were a little too late. The other Queen comes down to help out. Things are very messy, but it looks like it might be a bit of a wash.
He might have to walk away from this. He might have more mutas, but he's going to have to walk away from this if he can't quite kill all the anti-air.
This is such an odd fight.
Queen's going to go down. It's like watching TVT almost, where you see like one Helling, one Reaper, like when the daytime thing, but it's like 2 mutas, like 1 Ling, 1 The mutas will regen, but they're so low in health, they'll still die to this one if they don't retreat. So Bioice now going to pull back. Hydra going to chase back a little bit, but such a low amount of units for both sides. It's actually not that big of a deal. Normally, mutalist fights go so one-sided, it snowballs, but that was damn close.
Okay, so the really important thing here is that while Hydra did push that back, he had to cancel the Carapace upgrade. He was panicking. He was like, oh my god, am I going to lose because he has 2 more mutas and that's going to snowball? So he canceled the Carapace upgrade. Now it's going to be an entire upgrade behind. But I mean, the muta count's going to be okay, but that upgrade, that Carapace upgrade is so important.
It really is, but still, numbers are going to win out most of the time. And if you've got like 11 mutalists versus 8 or even higher numbers and you don't have Carapace, that's not going to matter as much. But we do see how Bioice continue to produce into this. Now, he's trying to kill that 3rd, and that would have been huge. You brought this up earlier, and I wanted to talk about it, but then the action really took over. And a lot of the times, it's actually really difficult to get a Mutalisk lead through kills, so you try and get it through economy. And that's where that 3rd base really starts playing a huge role in this game.
Yeah, and that's why there's always that comeback potential when you're not quite sure you're going to win the Muta War, which basically, you know, you talked about the, what did you call them, flaponomics?
In control's flaponomics.
Yes, exactly. I can barely tell that you're flapping more wings than I'm flapping. That type of deal. You can just always try and win out through these Ling run-bys, getting into the main base, natural base. I mean, if you can type a Spire.
Put a smile on that Spire.
Yeah, well, frown, actually, if you're going to snipe it. Then, of course, that would be absolutely key, but more about those drone kills and getting them off the extractor.
Alright, well, the mutas do come in for that fight. That +1 Carapace is going to be huge. Bioice also has a lead in numbers. Now, this is still going somewhat decently for Hydra, but as we see it, look at the units tab right now, he's bleeding out 11 mutalists to 8, 6, and they're starting to go down, but so are Bioice is getting low, so he's going to back away, wants to play it safe. Lings are still very important while this goes on. One of the other things the Lynx can do is they can soak some of the Glaive Worm bounces if they're under the Mutas. So there's a lot of reasons Bioice should have backed away, and it's good that he did. But he's floating a Mutalisk. There's like a miss rally over here. Doesn't lose it so far.
Yeah. I guess their gas timings on their respective thirds are pretty similar. So, of course, Bioice making a lot of minerals. He was the one that lost the queens very much so earlier on. Looks like there's a couple of extra injects on those queens. It's really starting to play a part in his mineral count, which, I mean, it is a lot about the Muta versus Muta, and he is doing a nice job there. But if Hydra's the one that has, like, the 20, 30 link swells, I can really start actually tearing down buildings, and that can force the comeback.
Yeah, it's funny too because it's staying on such a low Muta count. Again, normally we see these fights go down. We've had about 3 little scuffles and no one's really snowballed off of it. But it is getting to the point now where it's still like 13 Mutas to 11. It's not crazy. But Bioice losing so many workers, this is that economy game we were talking about before. If you can't win through kills, you can win through economy. Yeah,
it is getting quite bad now. Down by 14 now. He's starting to realize he needs a few more drones. But it's still 14. That's a big deal. That again goes into those lings. His gas count probably is still something he can afford. With a low drone count, but the minerals, those lings on the ground, not only important for the counterattacks, but also for getting underneath the mutas when the actual engagement goes down to soak up the glaive worms.
But some nice split attacks. The Spine Core is actually going to help hold this third really nicely, so it's going to live once again. Main base doesn't even get that cleaned out. We do have some more drone kills, but it's still Hydra who's done all the kills.
Yeah. Bioice still hasn't cleaned up his third base. It looks like Hydra actually stops the gas mining from that too. And while Bioice, he was so close. He was so close to getting that snowball muta effect.
Well, he still might. It's 18 to 10, and Hydra's going to take this fight without an upgrade.
Yeah, the Carapace's not quite done, and it might be enough. A queen pops in here. How many is it?
I feel the problem is that like Hydra could really just throw down 3 Spore Crawlers and
7 to 16? I mean, 16 is a lot. I mean, Bioice is totally winning the air war.
Absolutely, no question about that.
Oh my god, he could actually go into this drone line. I'm not sure. He should really nap back up.
I mean, he keeps disengaging earlier to keep this number.
Oh my god, he actually does it with the mutas.
The first game of the day.
Those mutas. Wow. I thought Hydra was on his way to a comeback. That drone count was so low. I was like, well, I guess this is going to go in like that wash, but the snowball effect happened.
Right. For me, it was like that moment where he got that first Mutalisk fight. I'm like, okay, he takes a small leap. Bioice is starting to get ahead. Then Hydra gets 26 drone kills. Hydra's back in the game. Then it's just the snowball effect really coming in strong at the end there. That was damn impressive.
Yeah, it's it's too bad too because with that higher drone count that Hydra had, you got to wonder like 3 Spore Crawlers, 1 in each base.
Exactly.
Would that really been so expensive?
But the one catch I would say that is, if he did that, he wouldn't have he wouldn't have had as many lings to run around, do the damage he did. He also wouldn't maybe have been able to afford them because we saw him cancel an upgrade. Like that's how desperate he was for money and gas at that point.
Yeah.
So that. I mean, for I think everybody here, that's a crazy upset. You got the North American beating like one of the best Koreans there is, right? WCS Season 2 champion, for goodness sake. But we see this a lot where the Koreans, they don't take a player seriously.
Yep.
Next game up, they serious the hell up, and it's a completely different player.
That is